Hey everyone. Today I'll be exploring a few different ways to use artificial intelligence to increase your lesson plans and hopefully save you a lot of time in the process. To help me with this, I'll be exploring a few different resources. The first thing I want to emphasize is if you are a proximity learning teacher, you will have access to the AI at Proximity Learning resource corner where you can find AI lesson planning hacks, different prompt recipes to help you get the best results from your lesson planning tools. Uh, Also, multiple archived PD sessions where you can watch and explore different AI tools that are useful in lesson planning and for many other teacher responsibilities. Additionally, again, in the Innovation Insider Teacher Hub, when you head over to instructional resources, as you can see me doing here, going into our AI resource corner, you will also have access to the Proximity Learning AI Teacher Assistant. This is an AI chatbot that has been trained to respond specifically to the needs of virtual teachers at Proximity Learning. It's very familiar with our lesson planning format. It understands that it may need to use learning standards across various different states and meet the needs of specific school requirements. Now, of course, this is not the only AI tool. You can find here links to other tools like ChatGPT, Magic School, CurryPod, which helps you make AI presentations. All right, so now that we've explored the AI at Proximity Learning Resource Center, I would like to now explore the AI hacks for enhanced lesson planning. If you're watching this on YouTube, this resource should be linked in the comments section of this video. And you're going to have also quick access here to the AI at PLI Resource Center, as well as the AI Teacher Assistant, which I'll be using now. I want to also point out some of the features on this AI hacks for enhanced lesson planning. This breaks down a typical proximity learning lesson plan into three sections: framework, the instructional components, and the notes. Over here on the play button, this will give you access to the video, and that is the video that you're watching right now. So you can always access that here. And there is a folder that pops up that will take you to the AI lesson plan prompt template. This prompt template is really an awesome tool for teachers. It's built just like our proximity learning lesson plans, but under each section, it provides pre-written AI prompts that you can just edit to include your specific information. This will help you get the best results from whatever AI tool that you are using. Okay, so what I'll be doing in this video is actually building a lesson plan kind of from scratch here using these materials. So I'm going to go into Proximity Learning Teacher Assistant. And I should note that the Proximity Learning Teacher Assistant will automatically ask you, what do you want to use me for today? In this case, you would go into lesson planning items and click on lesson planning and get started right away. It's going to ask you to give it some information, what's the grade level, what's the subject, etc. In this case, I actually don't know what standards I should be using for this lesson. So I will head over to my AI prompts for lesson planning template, and I'm going to go ahead and take this pre-made prompt and fill in my specific information. I'm going to choose a random state. We'll say I'm writing a lesson plan in the state. We'll go with New Jersey. We'll go with a high school biology class on a specific topic. I'm, again, just kind of coming up with a random topic here. We're going to go with cell division, the topic of cell division. What specific state standards am I meeting? Please provide specific standards with standard identifiers. That's a very important thing to include so that it knows that you're looking not only for, the generalized explanation of the standard, but the specific standard identifier. I'm going to go ahead and hit enter here. I see that there are some standards provided. Specifically, I like this one about developing and using a model to describe the function of a cell. So I'm definitely going to go with that one. I might also talk about using a model to illustrate the role of cell division in mitosis. I think both of those are the most relevant standards for me at this time. And you can actually include these prompts in your lesson plan template so that each time you make a copy of your template, you've got the prompts provided. And that's exactly what I've done here. And I will just literally take the prompt and remove it. And instead, I'm going to paste my new standards here in this row. So these are the two standards I'll be using for this lesson. All right, let's get into learning objective. Now, as we can see in the AI hacks for lesson planning area, we've got great tips for how to fill out your lesson objectives and your essential questions. Your objectives and essential questions should be easy to understand for students. It should be written in student-friendly language, and it should really focus on the deeper real-world implications of whatever we're learning about. We do have some sample prompts to help us out with that along the way. I'll go ahead and grab one of these and put it right in the AI teacher assistant. Also, again, highlighting that there are some suggested AI tools here beyond just the proximity learning AI teacher assistant that you might use to help you get some of these really student-friendly learning objectives and essential questions. Going over to the teacher assistant now, I'm going to put my prompt in and say, hey, please make this a student-friendly learning objective. And I'm just going to say on this lesson topic, since it's already aware of the lesson topic that we are writing about. I might just go ahead and focus on the two specific standards that I have chosen to use here. So again, kind of giving it a more targeted set of standards to build on. And I will paste those standards here. It also says you can paste slide text or questions that you might have set up if you're building from an e-textbook or some provided materials that you already have. All right, let's check out the learning objectives. It says I can create and use a model to show how cell division helps make new cells and how these cells work together to keep complex organisms healthy and functioning. Honestly, I really like this. It does also provide a bonus objective. I can explain how different parts of a cell interact and work together to support its overall function. This is great. This is very student-friendly. It definitely brings your attention to the real-world importance of this. This is what keeps our bodies and our organisms and other living organisms healthy and functioning. Heading back to my lesson plan here, I'm going to go ahead and replace the template text with my specific learning objectives. We're going to do the same thing for the essential questions. I'm going to say, please create 1 to 2 essential questions that capture the key concepts of the learning objectives and encourage students to consider the broader real-world significance of the topics being studied. Heading right back in to the teacher assistant, we will paste that. Okay. Here are the EQs that are set up. How does understanding the process of cell division help us comprehend the growth and development of living organisms? And why is this knowledge important in fields like medicine and genetics? I love that this has brought us to real world importance. That's great. In what ways do interactions among different parts of the cell contribute to its overall function? And how can understanding this impact advancements in biotechnology and disease treatment? Okay, that's getting really deep. But I like it. I think these are super ambitious essential questions, and I'm going to prompt the AI to make sure that everything we do in this lesson is aiming towards those essential questions. So I'll continually refer back to those as I keep prompting the AI tool here. Okay, loving it. So as you can see, in a matter of really, seconds, if you're doing this at your own pace here, you could really get this done in a minute or so. We have got a fantastic lesson framework. We've got relevant state standards, student-friendly learning objectives, and essential questions that are both student-friendly and help students get curious about the real-world significance of the learning topic. At this time, we're going to focus our attention on instruction. Looking at the bell work prompts here, there's quite a few different bell work prompts. There's one that helps us review core concepts from a previous lesson. In this case, I'm going to opt to use the second bell work prompt, which is introducing a new topic to students. And the activity should encourage students to think about, again, the real world implications of the material, spark curiosity, and require little prior knowledge of the topic. I think that is something that is oftentimes daunting for students. When your bell work requires a lot of prior knowledge and you're introducing a new topic, it can really turn students off. So I love that this prompt is helping students get engaged with limited prior knowledge, very low barrier to entry for engaging in this lesson. Let's go ahead and see what the AI comes up with. Okay, we've got think, pair, share. Based on the prompt, imagine you were a scientist who has just discovered a new way to help cells divide more efficiently. What potential benefits could this discovery have for living organisms? I already can say, I don't like this because it implies that the student already knows what cell division is and why that matters. You know what? I think we got to rewrite this. This is a great opportunity to tell the AI tool that you aren't satisfied with its current response. And go ahead and tell it exactly what you need. In this case, I'm going to say, let's make this more student friendly. It should require little knowledge of cell division. And we are now introducing this concept for the first time. All right, let's see what it came up with. The revised prompt says, why do you think it's important for living things like plants and animals to grow and develop? What role do you think cells play in this process? Love that. That is far more open to someone who maybe hasn't explored the concept of cell division yet. I definitely love this, and in my classes I do use think, pair, share quite a bit. However, if you have a class where maybe the students, they can't physically turn and talk to each other, maybe they're in different areas, you could use this as a breakout room, but maybe that's very time consuming for you as a bell work. You can always vary the activity type as well. You can say, please make this more of an individual response or a group brainstorm instead of a think, pair, share. I know for me, if I'm in a situation where students can't really get up and go talk to each other and have that in room conversation, a great way to facilitate that is using things like a collaborate board on Nearpod. You could use a whiteboard.chat group board as well. Okay, I see that the instructions have now been revised to prompt for an individual response and then a group brainstorm activity, which I think is probably a little bit more well suited to an environment like that. So go ahead and paste this into my lesson plan. Okay, nice. Getting into direct instruction, you might already have slides that introduce this topic. You might already be using something like a textbook. So in that case, remember that you can always differentiate and make it more student friendly. I'm going to go ahead and ask it to create slide text from scratch here. So based on the provided topic, let's see what it comes up with. I don't need to make very specific instructions about the grade level or the topic at this point because it's already been engaging with me on the specifics of this lesson. But I do want to make it so that, it's giving clear explanations of the main ideas, it's providing key details as well as different definitions for important vocabulary, and we'll make sure that it's using student-friendly language throughout. Okay, I do see that there is an attempt to make slides here, but quite honestly, these are quite limited. Now, if you are the type of teacher who likes to kind of do a little bit of lecture, break up your lecture with engagement, this might be sufficient. But if you wanted students to, read the slide text themselves and get an understanding, this would not be enough detail. Okay, so the improved prompt that I've provided is please make more detailed explanations for students. Students should be able to read this text and independently understand the details of the lesson topic. So again, this is not like an overview. I actually want, really rich text for my slides here that goes into detail about the topic. So we're going to see what we come up with. As you can see in our revised version, we have gone into a bit more detail about cell division, about cell growth. There is, a lot of definitions here about mitosis and meiosis. This is not bad. I would say I think other AI tools could do a better job with this. So I'm going to just play with one other tool here. I'm going to use Magic School to show you what another AI tool might come up with and how you can use different tools to get better results depending on what you're working with. Okay, as you can see, the slides have now been given a little bit more structure. They've got nice bullet points. They've got bold terms. It really goes into the important details and the vocabulary a lot better than the other tool did. So, different tools are, going to give you better results depending on what you need. I like this. I would definitely take this and put it into slides. Now, for your lesson plan, it's important to note you do not need to do the entire slide text in your lesson plan. You could just say, lesson slides on cell division right there. Okay. Now, another very important thing is to link those lesson slides. So once you take that text and you put it in a slide deck, you should go ahead and link those slides. For today, in this demonstration, I won't do that, but it is important that students have access to your direct instructions slide. Now, we've got some nice direct instruction materials here, but we don't have a lot of student engagement built in yet. So I'll go back to the teacher assistant here, and I'm going to tell it to create scaffolded check for understanding questions based on that content. Include questions that gradually increase in rigor and build on the understandings from the previous question. Include prompts the teachers can use to guide students through each question. So again, building that scaffolding in, and we'll see what kind of questions it comes up with. So the teacher assistant has come up with a lot of different questions. Some of them are very basic. Hey, what is cell division? Kind of that depth of knowledge one, just kind of restating what it is. And we're getting into deeper and deeper depths of knowledge as we go through the various slides. This has actually put the questions in each slide for me. So if I'm building slides from this material, I can pop these questions into each slide. And I should also make it really clear then, as I'm writing my lesson plan, that these check for understanding questions are built into the slides. Now, if you want to do a different structure with this, you could have it like a slide companion, or more like a guided note, where each slide has these questions, and you're prompting students to answer the questions in their individualized document that accompanies the slides. It's really up to you how you want students to work through these questions, but however you're doing it, you should specify, okay? So in this case, I'm going to say, okay, write a section of my lesson plan indicating that students will answer these questions in a slide companion note document. All right, so during the lesson of cell division, students will actively engage with content by answering scaffolded check for understanding questions in their slide companion note document. By the way, that would be exactly where I would link that note document for students. So I might put that in the learning management system. I might have it as a forced copy link that students could access. But I would put a link to that document in the lesson plan so that students have access to the materials they're supposed to be using here. For independent practice, you've got a few different prompts to explore. One of these prompts is prompting the AI to create a differentiated independent practice that creates 3 different versions of an activity labeled mild, medium, and hot, and each version increases in rigor and challenge as you progress. That's a great one. Another one, if you want to get creative, is again asking the AI to create an independent practice activity with numerous versions that are tailored to different learning styles. We might include options for students to demonstrate their ability through art, through writing, through acting, through kinesthetic activities. So I will go with that one in this case. I can see that the independent practice activities have been created. We've got some prompts for an artistic expression, which is asking students to draw or create a poster, illustrating cell division. There's also prompts here for writing a short story about cell division or a poem, acting or drama in small groups. They can create a skit that demonstrates the process of cell division. There's also ones for kinesthetic activities, which would be building a model of a dividing cell. I will go ahead and use this. This is looking pretty good. So I have my independent practice activity built out here. This definitely looks nice. I really do like it. There is also a prompt that you could use for accommodating independent practice activities or guided practice activities. So I will go ahead and use that activity. And I want them to create a differentiated version of the activity that meets the specified accommodations for this IEP. And I'm actually going to use Magic School for this. Magic School is really good at creating scaffolding and differentiated versions of activities. And then I also have a sample IEP that I'll be using. So I will go ahead and put the IEP into Magic School along with the independent practice activity. You know, it might just clean it up a little bit. Yeah, Magic School has really nice formatting, so that looks great. At this point, I will take my prompt about differentiating this activity and place it again within Magic School. So again, I'm telling it to create a differentiated version of this based on the accommodation. Now here it says, hey, please provide the circumstances. So provide whatever, differentiation we need. In this case, I am just going to paste the accommodations in this student's IEP. But I really want to make this clear. I am not going to put the student's name in this. There's no reason to give identifying information to these AI tools. We do not want to be providing that information out there on the internet. So for each of these, it's giving me what kind of accommodations could be made to visual aids, chunking information, sentence starters. Okay, taking this kind of this theoretical response, I'm going to try to get something more pragmatic out of this and say, please create a worksheet version of each activity, including the actual differentiation and scaffolding that's been mentioned, and we'll see what it can produce. All right, we have really a broken down version of each prompt. It goes into the specific vocabulary. It's actually providing the sentence starters, right? In the prophase, the cell does this. During metaphase, it does that. All right. Over here in the worksheet storyboard, we have an actual chart that the student can go and fill out. So I can take all of this and put this into a document, and I would provide that document to the student who needs this additional scaffolding. So this would be something that could take hours to do without the use of AI, but using AI takes just a few seconds to make this really high quality differentiated version of the activity for students. Here under notes, I definitely want to provide some notes about how the facilitator can engage with this, as well as notes about my differentiation. So we'll actually be using both of those here. I'll just go ahead and use Magic School here and say, create facilitator notes to outline how a facilitator can support students during the lesson, include strategies for facilitating group work, assisting students who need extra help, and ensuring all students are engaged and on track. I am also going to ask it to provide differentiation suggestions. This already has access to the IEP. Actually, I might also say differentiations for students with visual and hearing impairments as well. And these are the notes that it's coming up with. This is really nice. It's really, really comprehensive. So I'm going to say, this is too long. Please shorten to a few sentences. Right, this is just a part of my lesson plan. This is just a quick note to facilitators. That's a much more condensed version there. So liking that, I'll go ahead and take this text, head into the notes area of my lesson plan. All right, now the one thing I haven't done yet is the closer and the exit ticket. We honestly, I need to wrap this video up. So just know that there's lots of prompts for great closers and exit tickets as well. If you are watching this video and you've enjoyed it, you are welcome to attend our upcoming PD session all about lesson planning with AI. It's going to be the first week of February 2025 on Thursday, February 6th. We'll be having a session that's going to go out in our Prox News newsletters. So check your emails for notifications about that really exciting collaborative session where all of us are going to be making enhanced lesson plans using AI. Hope you guys enjoyed this, and don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions. Cheers.